Hello and welcome back to the Purple Sector's F1 podcast with me, Kunal Shetty. And joining me on the podcast today is Loyal Tifosi and Banner Boy, Arjun Hari. Welcome back to the show, Hari. How's it been? What's happening?
Good. I mean, just
Season been for you?
season's been good. I think Ferrari doing well. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's been a good Japanese Grand Prix also this morning. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
excitement and emotions are high.
yeah. As they should be, as they should be.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah, it's really been the most positive start to a season for us. I think at Ferrari since maybe 2018,
yeah,
2019. I think there seems to be a complete shift in the way the team is also operating. If you saw the race today, the strategy with Leclerc to put him on a one pit stop and then get McLaren in the pit stops. The pit stops are seamless,
yeah.
no
Fantastic. I
errors.
think there has been a great sign of improvement. I think since Fred has also come into the team. And I think we headed in the right direction. But let's see. I mean, it's too early to say also. Yeah, but
Yeah,
as of
I mean, we definitely. I think it's not too early to say that we are headed in the right direction, but I think we just can't get carried away, and let's hope that this whole turnaround is continuous in terms of constantly building and moving
yeah,
forward. Like we don't
I
get
think we
stuck
should
again.
keep the momentum on. Basically, I think so. I think science is doing a great job.
Sain is
Uh,
doing a fantastic job.
I
He's.
think
I
they
think
should retain
he's.
it for next year.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's. I mean, Sain is doing a fantastic job. Now, the way obviously, knee-jerk reactions to, what are Ferrari doing? I think the way to see that, honestly, if you look at it objectively, is we've been lacking the one percenters with Vettel when we decided. No doubt, Sainz a fantastic driver. I mean, I love the fact that both of them, I think, also operate fairly well. I don't think that would be the case between Lewis and Charles, because Charles, there'll be a lot more pressure once Lewis comes. But the one percenters basically means, can we finally win that championship? We've come close, but the way I'm looking at it, if I look at it objectively, is perhaps Lewis will get in that 1%, which will allow us to win the championship. And if he wins, he just he just goes there. Then we don't have to deal with him for any longer. So I'm looking at it, with rosy-eyed and tinted vision. But that's how I see it.
No, but it's great
Fair.
time we won a championship. Also, it's been a while.
Exactly. And so yeah, I think it's also, I think we've not done a pod for a while because I
Yeah,
wanted to just get the season going and avoid any knee-jerk reactions. Red Bull to win all the races, Alpine to withdraw from the season altogether, or perhaps kick Sauber, stop all pit stops, just take post-race penalties because they were so bad. So I
oh,
said
I
let's
don't know what
let's
are they doing here. I have no
it's
idea.
yeah, it's a sad state of affairs there. In fact, it's they've actually no, they're still much better off than Alpine. I wasn't even joking when I said that Alpine should just maybe consider just getting the cars out, because if you see the
Yeah.
Grand Prix today, also the Japanese Grand Prix, they were 20 seconds behind the guys who were in 14th and 15th. So only
I
Logan
feel
Sargent was
damn bad for
behind them because he
Gasly,
binned
man.
it.
I feel damn bad for Gasly. He's one of my
Yeah, I think
favorite
Gasly needs
drivers.
to get out.
He needs
Gasly
to,
has to find.
but go
No,
where?
totally. It's a terrible
And he and
scene for.
Ocon don't get along. So it's
Ocon
evident.
doesn't get along with any teammate. I think Ocon's got that little bit of craziness in him. I think he needs a solid number two who's not going to get in his way. He's one of those drivers who can't
Yeah.
share the limelight. I think he's that kind of driver. But yeah, I think the starts been amazing for Ferrari. I think obviously Red Bull have still got the upper hand, but I think it's going to become more track specific. For example, Albert Park, which was Australia last
Fantastic.
race, I definitely thought we would, even if Max didn't retire, I think Sainz had a chance to get him anyways,
No, no,
because I
Science
think
had
that
a proper chance. Proper
yeah,
chance. On
absolutely.
paper, everything Science had a proper chance.
I
No
think the
doubt.
track characteristics, it's a lot of. I mean, it just kind of suited the car, and the race simulations and all told us that. I think Japan, this was probably, this was the best that we could get. In fact, the fact that we easily beat McLaren also is a big sign,
Yeah, yeah,
positive sign for us, because knowing the last Japanese Grand Prix, we were anyways killing our tires, and we were we were completely destroyed by even McLaren in that race. So
yeah.
I think we constantly taking steps forward. Basically, the change that's happened with the quality performance of the Ferrari, I think especially Leclerc, I think which you mentioned even post Suzuka, because this is something I wanted to tackle, given the amount of nonsense on social media that, oh, the whole Sainz versus Leclerc, Sainz is destroying Leclerc, oh, Leclerc's terrible in qualifying now. The problem with, I think, the Ferrari, not problem, what Ferrari have done is it used to heat up its tires really quickly. So to get the car in the right window for quali used to be a certain format of doing it. So I think
Yeah.
right now, because it's become way better on its tires and races, I think they still have to figure out the ideal way to get it into that window for a one lap qualifying setup.
No,
So
because
what do you think?
Leclerc was, I mean, that's a very valid point, and that showed also yesterday during qualifying. He was struggling. I mean, his pace and all was good. I mean, he was doing purple sectors and all, but he was struggling during qualifying also.
Yeah, it's a tire preparation issue. I don't think it's anything else. It's a
Yeah,
tire preparation issue, because I think the whole setup of the car now has gone more, it's forward in terms of giving race pace rather than qualifying. They'll, I think, dial in the qualifying as we go along, but the main characteristics of the car from last year, which were that fantastic in qualifying and absolute crap in race, I
in
think
race, yeah, he's
they've
changed.
dialed
I
out.
mean, I think we're doing good. Yeah, let's see. I mean,
Yeah, they've dialed
but
it out.
I have to say that the Australian Grand Prix was nothing but a masterpiece. It was like Da Vinci's painting, Michaelis, Rogers, and Pavarotti singing all put together with the Italian anthem. Ah, my God, I had goosebumps. What a race!
Yeah, I think the Italian anthem also gives you goosebumps
Yeah,
anyway. So
yeah. It's such a happy
Ferrari,
anthem
it's
also.
such a powerful, passionate. You see all the mechanics,
Singing,
singing, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I couldn't put it better, Harry. What you said about the feeling and the experience of
yeah,
the 1-2 at Melbourne.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think it's the best start, like I said, that we've had for a very long time,
Very long time.
and long may it continue, and let's see how it goes. So one thing I wanted to do on this episode, Hari, is, given that we have 4 races in, I thought we'd do a fun little segment
Sure,
here.
sure.
Basically, it's called how it's started and how is it going to end. Okay, so basically, 4 races in, we can take out all the knee-jerk reactions, kind of out of the way. Let's look at it a little bit more holistically as to, let's see where each team is going. And the way I've also looked at it is from a little scientific type approach, not scientific, but just a fun scientific approach. I should say there are 5 parameters. There is team morale, there's car performance, driver performance, fan delulu. This is a social media term if you've come across it. And what's Will saying? This is obviously Will Buxton.
Will
Let's
Buxton,
just
let's not talk about him. I mean, I had a lot of
no
respect
no.
for him, but I think he's going bonkers.
So that let's. I mean, what's Will saying just added a little bit of that masala at the end,
Yeah,
which basis, like, I've completely analyzed what he's saying for each of the teams, and obviously everyone is biased, but we can reveal a little bit of his biases also, and sometimes what I mean goes to different lens of talking utter rubbish. So let's start from the front. Obviously, let's start with Red Bull. Team morale, on a scale of 10, I would actually give it probably a 6 or a 7, purely down to what's happening around.
yeah,
Now,
no,
the
it's happening.
whispers have died down a little bit, but I feel there's no smoke without fire, and there's something happening over there in terms of, there is a power struggle. I think Horner's text messages or WhatsApp messages, whatever happened, that also is kind of just lingering and it's in the air. What do you think?
See, if I have to break it down, I'll give a team moral about three. You know, there is something really fishy.
Three.
Yeah, there's something really fishy
Okay.
going about the team. I think the team is currently divided. There
Hmm.
is, I mean, whatever happened, Honor got a clean sheet, so that's
Yeah.
fine. So
Yeah.
it's,
Innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely. Huh.
I think the guy who's really orchestrating Red Bull is Marco, and
Helmet. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't. I think because of him, the team morale has also been really low because I mean Honor will and Marco will have a difference of opinion. And
Hmm.
if you've
Hmm.
seen the Red Bull pattern right from Daniel Kvyat to Carlos Sainz to Pierre Gasly to Alex Albon, you know, Marcos technically destroyed their careers also. If you go to see, I mean, you know, moving them from an
Yeah. He's a.
A grade team to Ricciardo also. So,
Hmm.
and Marco is also very pro Verstappen. And honestly speaking, if Marco goes, Verstappen,
Verstappen goes. Yeah. Yeah.
Verstappen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the team morale is really down. Will they win the world championship this year? Seems like
Probably.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, unless
In spite
McLaren,
of. Yeah.
unless McLaren or Ferrari give them really fierce competition.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I don't see Mercedes doing anything great this
No,
season.
Mercedes are not going to do anything. They
So,
are. We'll
if
come to their team morale soon enough.
so, but
But I
yeah,
think
I think the team morale is really. I mean, it's not how you'll see a Red
it
Bull team.
usually is. No,
Red Bull,
absolutely, completely agree. I think
you know how
it's.
they used to come as a team. You got me. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
couple days to. I mean, currently how Max is doing, and I don't think Max really cares if he moves to another team right now. I'm sure Mercedes are evaluating,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah. He's an unemotional guy. Only thing he's
I don't
also.
think I don't think he would move to any other team other than Mercedes right now, unless Mercedes get Alonso for a year or probably get the junior driver to get ready for the 2026.
Hmm. The only thing is, I would say, while I think Verstappen is unemotional. Also, he's an absolute winner. So I don't think he'll be looking, what's Mercedes up to. I mean, the start has been atrocious. So
Yeah,
yeah, he'll play that waiting game and figure. But like you said, I think if Marco goes,
he
then
will
I
go.
think
For sure.
Max
He
will
will
go,
go.
and
He
he's
will.
he's also a very loyal guy. I think apparently to Marco.
Marco, yeah, yeah.
So I think yeah, team morale is.
Marco's ways of working are also not how, say, traditional racing teams would like to
Hmm.
follow. I mean, we've
Hmm.
seen the
Hmm.
history. We've seen
True,
the
true. I
history.
think yeah. So both of us kind of agree the morale is not
Very
where
good.
it is. It should be what it usually is with Red Bull. But yeah, I guess you've dropped it down several launches. Even I feel there is something going on there in the
Yeah,
background. I
yeah.
think car performance 10 on 10. There's nothing really to
Undoubtedly,
discuss on
yeah.
that.
Very good,
Driver
very good.
performance also I would give Max obviously a 10. I would probably give Sergio an 8. So they're doing all right. I don't think there's
Really
much to
doing well.
discuss there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no delusion within the fans because the fans, I think, I mean, there's no,
It's the
you
fan
can't
base
be
of the
deluded about
fans who
winning
are
with
very
that
happy
with
right
that
now.
car. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty much low. There's no delusion. They're probably completely
yeah.
in sync with what the reality is. What's Will saying? From what I understand, Will's not saying much. His all his quotes and all have currently come just for McLaren. Seems to be completely distorted again with what McLaren are going to do in every race. So Will's not saying much. He's
Less
saying
said by Will,
the
better.
less. All he'll be saying is Max Verstappen will finish first, which means he will win the race.
No, I
Which
used to
means
like
if he,
Will earlier, but not
I never
anymore.
liked Will. Oh, you
I found
liked
it
Will? Oh?
logical, but it's okay.
Cool. Let's move on to the second team in the standing, which is Ferrari. I think team morale is honestly at an all-time high. I don't think you can. I don't think I can even dock a point on team morale.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'd say again, as I said in the beginning, since Fred has come into the team, there has been a significant change. You know, at least
Absolutely.
I mean, non-Italian team principal who does not know how to speak Italian also
Yeah.
is really holding the team well. I think he's doing a good job. He's keeping everyone happy. Yeah, you're gonna have a difference of opinion with
Yeah,
Sainz, Leclerc, because I just feel that
absolutely.
Leclerc is getting a little more aggressive. I think,
Mm.
and he's probably losing out on patience to get the world championship also, because
But I
it's
think he has to. Honestly, his one Achilles heel is the fact that I think he tends to be a bit too nice. I think he has to get that,
yeah,
aggressive, no holds bar, win at any cost kind of attitude into him
driver
when he gets the car.
driver 10 on 10. I mean, I don't see any mistakes made by him. 10 on 10, I have no issues the way Leclerc drives. I mean, it's the car also.
Yeah, I'm saying combined performance. I would probably give Sainz a 10. I would probably give Leclerc a 8.5 or 9.
I'll
I
give
think.
Science 10 as of now. I mean, that guy
Yeah,
is
yeah,
really,
absolutely.
yeah, the guy
And
is
you put in
really,
Ollie Behrman's performance also, which means, I mean, Ollie gets a 10, Sainz gets a 10. I think Leclerc gets an 8, 8.5, because he's just still not getting to grips with the qualifying setup for that car.
there's
His
a level
best
of,
race performance, I think, was his latest performance where he got driver of the day in Japan. I think
yeah,
this was his best race performance where he showed a lot of racecraft, showed patience, got his tires working, gave that longevity to his mediums. So I
yeah.
think, yeah, he can only get better.
He will
Car
get it.
performance, I think car performance is a solid 8, 8.5 for me. I think they there and thereabouts. They just have to get that additional 2 tenths in race pace. I think in selected tracks, I think they still lack in those high speed corners, but I think they'll get there. And I'm super positive, like you said with Fred. He's made a lot of changes. I wasn't for the guy, to be honest, to begin with, but
But who
I
else was
think
there?
he's removed the emotion out of it. I think it's more about planning, and let's not be hot headed with our decision making at Ferrari, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the Italian way of doing things. I think he's
Also, the
kind of
strike calls which are happening off late
fantastic,
are good.
fantastic.
Are
Yeah,
good.
you don't
Are
have
good.
any of these bloody memes coming
Yeah,
out like clowns on the
yeah.
pit wall. They're excellent, like
Very good.
calls,
Like today's call in
execution.
also was fantastic,
Very
Uh,
good, very good. Execution of
as
the
a,
pit stops. Yeah, execution of pit stops. Top class. Not a single
yeah,
mistake, not a single error.
yeah,
The fan Delulu is reasonably strong. I think we just
yeah.
there's not delusion. I think it's optimism which is really high right now. Uh, yeah, Will's not
We'll not,
saying too many positive things about Ferrari. In the sense, he's just
but,
like, yeah, they look good, but I think McLaren will beat them, or but maybe Alonso's going to put a spanner in the
but I
works.
really like that line. I saw Drive to Survive,
Yeah,
especially
of course.
for
I saw.
Ferrari episode. There's one thing which he really said, which I've probably used it a few times while talking to a few people. In Italy, there are two religions.
Yeah.
The other is, what a
Abs-
line.
what a line. That's a good line. So
Yeah.
let's give that line to
Yeah.
Will then. Okay, we'll give
For
him
that
some kudos.
only, I'll give Will 10 on 10. That's it. Yeah. For that, I'll give 10. Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to Mercedes. I think team morale is quite messed up. I think Hamilton is dejected. Toto is, decided not to take his leave of absence from the Japanese Grand Prix because he said he just needed to be there to make sure that he was there saying that he can keep going and trying to instill a little bit of confidence back into the team and just get that togetherness going. But they honestly look really bad. Again, they come up with these small little solutions to improve the car, but they don't seem
Yeah.
to be working. They do reasonably well in practice, and then they completely go off. I
I
mean,
think
I
all of
think it's
them are
a
scarred. All of them are scarred after the 2021 season finale. You know,
still
of course, it's something which is not. Can you imagine Massa is still filing a suit against the FIA? What has happened?
Massa is yeah, Massa.
No, but I'm just
He's
saying,
not.
yeah. But I mean, it's something very hard to let go. It's yeah.
I think yeah, there are some scars, but I think uh, yeah,
I
the
think the team
change in
are asking
regulation, they've
to go
just
on.
not figured out how to get around these regulations around these kind of cars which have to
And I
generate
think,
downforce from
I
under the
think
body. I mean, it's not that aerodynamically, this thing with the wings and all of that. It's that ground effect. I think they've just not been able to figure it out.
I
They've
think they will focus more on Russell right now, and probably, I mean, I think the main focus right now is on 2026. So
It looks like it, yeah. I honestly thought they would still give it a shot. I mean, that
yeah,
seems to be the case.
yeah,
And yeah, I think they might. I think, like you rightly said, focusing on Russell, but I think Hamilton also just checked out. I think he's literally seeing with rosy eye on seeing where Ferrari are going in that upward trajectory, and he's waiting to get his hands on that car. I think now for next season. He's kind of checked out. I've never seen him like so dejected. Today also in the race, he was like, "Should I just let George through?" Obviously, they were kind of on different strategies, but you never expect Lewis Hamilton to just his tone has been completely like lost, dejected, defeated, which you don't associate with him. So I think morale's like a good. I mean, at a quite low level, 3, 4. I think same Red Bull
yeah,
level.
yeah.
Car performance, I think again is a 4 on 10. Driver
So,
performance, again, I think is 5. I think both of them are really not being able to really get the most out of it. Obviously, Russell's doing a lot better, but I think there's no delusion with the fans. I think they've kind of accepted. There is, I think, like you said, 26. 26 is 26 is where they have to figure their next uh, you know attempt at getting a solid car and getting back to the top. uh, Will saying not much. I think he's keeping quiet
yeah,
because he's also a very big Hamilton fan, so he's I wonder how he's going to behave from next season, Hari. Once Hamilton is with Ferrari, is he going to come in with his Ferrari overalls for race day and for Sky Sports? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a tricky one. Those guys are super, supportive of Hamilton every time. I wonder how it's going to be once he's moved to Ferrari. It's going to be tricky.
I don't have an answer for that. I am very. I don't know. I mean, I'm just it's very difficult for me to. I mean, at least for a hardcore tifosi to answer that question. Because look, the most hated man in Italy is joining the team. So I don't.
Most hated man in Italy.
So I mean, honestly speaking, I would love to. I mean, I would love to go and see a race in Monza. For the matter of fact, Hamilton is going to be racing, and
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's on my bucket list, man. Has to happen.
then I think we should do it next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
But
should, we should.
we should. But I don't know, man. It's something which is not sinking in as of now.
Mm,
So
mm.
I think Will is also very pro Hamilton. Is
He
I
is
mean,
super pro Hamilton.
Brits being Brits.
Yeah, 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 of course.
So,
Oh, the
yeah,
bias is fair enough, but yeah, he's super pro
yeah.
Hamilton.
And I
But I
think
think
Russell is going with the flow also. Uh, let
I
it.
that's all. But the way it started, I don't. I think it's going to pretty much end the same. I don't think they're going to just not do much all of the season. It's just about maybe like you said 26 or just at least give it a better shot in 25 because I think they've completely changed their car for 24. So I think maybe they can improve the car in 25 and just hope. I don't think this season is going anywhere for them unless they get like a
Yeah.
McLaren size silver bullet like they got
I
like
think they should
McLaren had
aim to
last
finish
season.
fourth in the season, at
Yeah, I
least.
think that should be the best.
They
That
should
should be
aim
their goal because I
this.
think, but that's I think fairly simple given their. I mean, I think they're behind McLaren, and for fourth, they'll be challenging. They'll be challenged by just Alonso. I mean, that's a one car team. I mean, so it's. I think it should be fairly straightforward to at least get that. Which I think is a good segue to get into McLaren. Or let's do Aston Martin first. I don't know what to even give to the team morale. I think they're pretty happy with where they are. I think their whole
As long
focus
as
is on
Alonso is
26.
holding fort, as long as Alonso
Absolutely. I
is
think they're
doing
happy.
a fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
I mean, and
Outstanding.
you know what? I didn't know that they were going to be moving to Honda in 2026.
They are moving to Honda, yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're
So
getting away from the Merc, yeah.
yeah,
The Mercedes
so
engine is going.
So 2026 or 2025? 2026.
26, 26. Yeah, the new engine regs, no? So that's
Yeah.
when they get.
So
So that's going to be interesting in terms of
that's really
what
interesting. Yeah.
what engine Honda comes up with. It's going to be a engine's going to be super important, especially at least for that first year, because
Yeah.
you have to use synthetic fuels and all of that. So to get your engine right and give you that performance, is going to be super
And I'm
important.
also looking forward for a new driver lineup for Aston Martin because honestly speaking, I think Alonso will retire probably in 2026 or he might just continue racing. But I think I'll see a new driver lineup because Stroll is absolutely useless, is
But
what I
where will Stroll go, Hari? That's the problem. I think that
there was something where he said that he'll move to skiing or some other sport also, which I read.
tennis.
Tennis. So
No, he's really bad. Yeah. Now
he's
again,
really,
this
really bad. Really bad.
Japan also he qualified 16th. Alonso was fifth. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean you.
You can't. I
There's
mean,
only so
you
much.
can't.
If Lawrence is really serious about his master grand plans, even from a financial aspect, for him to be able to sell this company again to another buyer, he has to show that this company is going in a certain
Yeah.
direction and it's winning or coming close or just moving up the ladder, and he can't do that, which is one driver performing and getting him all the points, even though it's his son on the other side. I mean, that domino has to fall, yeah, eventually. Now, when that will fall, it's
It'll
tricky.
happen. It'll happen. I mean, I don't see any worry per se. But I mean, not I really care about Aston Martin because it's being a loyal Tifosi. But yeah, I would like to see some competition. I think it's a great team.
It
But
has
yeah,
potential. I would just say I think it's potentially going to be a great team in the next 5 years, depending on how things go.
yeah,
But yeah, I think morale's I think fairly high. I think the
yeah,
car performance was a solid 7. I think can't compare it to last season. I think just got the upper hand by doing some by kind of
yeah.
just going ahead with the Red Bull concept. Driver performance, I think 10 on 10 for
Alonso, yeah,
for Alonso, and like 1 on 10 for Stroll. I don't know too much about. I think there are a lot of Martin fans within the UK. I've
yeah.
not come across too many people, even on socials and all. I haven't seen too many people talking about. Will is actually quite excited, and he's very bullish on Aston Martin. He keeps looking at the long term project, and he sees a lot of potential, which probably there is a lot of potential, but I don't think they're going to be world beaters in 2 or 3 seasons. It probably still take another 5 years, and that is also dependent on Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull all dropping the ball, yeah, in some
Yeah,
way, because to
exactly. I
catch
don't
up
see
that
that
much
happening.
is
I don't
it's
see the ball
it's
getting dropped by these top three teams also, as of
it's
now.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to McLaren.
I think,
McLaren, I think they had a bit of a change I think they got rid of a few people on the technical side before this race. So that's not something good in the sense that they had actually got an ex Ferrari guy who was supposed to head their, I think, aero department or something, Sanchez. I think he's decided to move on, and they've again reshuffled their whole structure. So that's not the best thing, but I think this Zach has signed on till 2030 to lead the team.
yeah, I think he's doing
So
a decent job. I mean,
he's doing.
money
I think
talks. So yeah. So, yeah.
he
I
does.
mean,
He does.
it's the flamboyant Zach and the flamboyant Mr. Stroll. It's money talking. They have money to
Yeah.
put the team. I mean, I'm sure a lot
I
of
think
investors.
Zach is very good commercially. I think he just
He's a
brings
good
in a
business.
lot of money.
He's a good business.
He's very
Yeah,
good at business.
he
Yeah.
knows
I
how to
think.
manage the team and he knows how to get
Yeah.
business for the team.
And
I
I
mean,
think
I think
he's
that's
also
the role of a team principal also by the end of the day. Yeah,
You're right. You're right. I think he's also got the right people
yeah,
now in the right places. I mean, there's still that technical merry-go-round which keeps
yeah,
happening. I think is still happening over there. But like you said, I think he's doing a solid job. I
yeah.
think the car performance also I would give it a 7, 7.5.
Yeah, I
Driver
think Lando
performance,
and Oscar are both doing a good job. I mean, it's fantastic job. yeah.
I still think Oscar today in the Japanese race, I think
He
he
was
could have
struggling.
done a better job. I
He
think he's
was
still
struggling.
working out his race pace, how to keep managing his tires. Lando is doing what Lando does. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah, he's on
10
cooling
on
state.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Oscar I would give him a 7 at this point. Still, but he's a damn good driver. A lot of potential. I think he still has to figure out how to get that race pace
yeah,
slightly better. Just keep improving on that.
yeah, yeah.
I think also very stable fans. Yeah, the odd McLaren fan who I've spoken to or met, they're just very optimistic. The fact that they've seen the absolute troughs of what McLaren had become in the last few years. I think they're all very optimistic and it's going the right direction. So I think they're kind of moving with the flow.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think Will's a big. I think
Lando
he's a
fan.
Brit, so he likes his
Lando, yeah.
British drivers and
US,
especially he loves the
George, yeah, all of them.
McLaren team. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every race he predicts McLaren winning. Yeah, I don't know from where he's getting the insight, but
Yeah.
he seems to be on it. Let's look at Williams, Hari. I think there is some absolute chaos going around there. Like they don't have their third chassis. Everyone's crashing. Uh, what do you think? What's happening there? I think the
Yeah.
morale's quite low,
Mora,
man. To be
I
honest.
mean, the new team principal is trying to, James is trying to lift it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming from a mighty organization like Mercedes,
It was
yeah, trying to streamline a B
processes
grade
and
team,
stuff like.
a B
Yeah,
grade team who was once upon a time a giant.
yeah,
So yeah, you are, and the team's obviously been sold, So all those struggles are there, keeping the Williams heritage name.
yeah, yeah.
So I think time will,
Hmm.
resolve things for them. I think they need a stronger lineup, is what I feel.
Drivers, you're saying.
They need a stronger lineup. I mean, Albon needs to probably, but move to another team.
But
Like,
Yeah, Albon is also. I feel Albon is good, but I think he's also people are rating him a bit higher than he actually. He also makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, and charging I won't even say. So I think their driver performance, combined driver performance also is kind of halfway house. I think I would say 4 or 5 on 10 at this point
yeah,
over the first 4 races, and that is maybe Logan's at like 2, where he's just again he doesn't seem to be able to just get anything out
he
of the
can't
car.
handle the car probably. I mean,
He can't handle it. I don't think he can handle the this thing. Like you said, this just the I don't know what it is. I mean, he's supposedly was a good
bad
driver
luck.
in F2. I've
Pure
looked at
bad
his
luck.
results.
Pure bad luck. I mean, I think there at this massive downfall of Williams has happened after they've sold the team and probably, I think when Massa and
No,
Valentino,
Harry, they actually were good. Actually, when Massa and all was there, I think
he
they
was
had
good.
to
Yeah,
sell. They had to sell once they'd reached that absolute rock bottom because when Claire Williams was heading the team, they were becoming an absolute laughing stock and then they were running out of money because
money.
they were losing sponsors left, right, and center. And obviously, a team like Williams, which is not backed by a big manufacturer, they couldn't raise that money given the state of affairs. So that's why then they sold. They're a big reset. But I think, like you said, I think James has got a very
He's
big
got
job
a
on his
massive
hands.
role to play. I mean, considering how he has, you know, from McLaren to he moved to Honda. He was with
Hmm.
Honda also. Then moved to Braun GP and now with
Yeah.
Mercedes. I think
Yeah.
he's, I mean, very strong, and I think he can bring a lot to the table. We got to give him
It's
a
going to
chance.
take time.
It's
Yeah, it's
got,
going to take a lot of time, that too.
there's a lot
I
of
mean,
rebuilding and reworking which needs to be done.
absolutely, which include, like I said, the processes in terms of he was, there was a documentary on how he was surprised and shocked, I would say, the way Williams were, manufacturing parts and the processes that they followed and all was like 30 years, back, which is crazy. So the fact that they didn't do anything when they were even doing well, like with Massa, like you rightly mentioned, it's going to be a big long way back for them. And I don't know, I mean the car also, I think it was they've completely changed their philosophy from being that really slippery, car go super fast on the straights to, you know, a more rounded car. But again, it seems to have gone a little behind in the pecking order. No points as of now, so it's going to be a tricky season for them. Uh, I mean, I find one of the teams that has been an absolute surprise and have done, way beyond expectations for me is Haas. They were completely like written off. Obviously, Gunther left, but now that I think of it, Hari, what do you think about this? Like this, had Gunther become too big for the team, he had become bigger than the team, and he'd kind of dropped the ball in terms of focusing on the technical side of thing and making sure that the car was good. What do you think? What's your take on this? Because
Gunther became bigger than the team, so which is generally a problem. Like in any team, if your player or your team member becomes bigger than the team, I genuinely see a problem in that. I mean, the amount of publicity and
hmm,
which Gunther got and all, I don't know if he could manage it well or
yeah,
not. I think the intent was right in getting Haas to the right direction, but did it materialize? I don't think so. It materialized. So whether Gunther being there in the team or not being there in the team wouldn't make much of a difference. But I think it's a very fuck all lineup they have. I think
I think
both of these guys.
you don't like Nico. Nico's your guy. Yeah? You also shared a moment and you got him back into the sport, man. You
I
gave him
exchanged
the
notes with him in Singapore, which worked.
exactly.
So
No, I feel I agree with you. I think on the
we
Gunther bit,
outdated drivers, man. Let's be as
I
honest.
think Nico is very underrated. Yeah, I think Nico Hulkenberg is a great driver.
Never. It's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's that obviously will always be his a black mark on the CV. But I think
Yeah.
he's a very underrated driver. He's a good driver. He's a strong. I think his driving capabilities and capacities maybe close to Perez. Maybe he's still a little behind Perez, but if given the right car, right circumstance, I think he can do a good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magnussen is done. Magnussen has been done, but I think there were Gunther's selections to begin with, so I think there will be a change for sure next season. But yeah, I think like you said, I think Gunther became bigger than the team. I think the focus kind of moved away from performance on track and became more his performances off track. Whether it was drive to survive and just
But again, the
doing.
intent was right. The intent was
I'm
right with,
sure.
yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah. I think the
he did
intent
what
was
he
right.
did.
It
Yeah.
was the execution which I think
Yeah.
they just didn't get it right.
Yeah.
It's but it's good. I'm I've always rooted for Haas in that way that I hope they do well. I
I hope
actually
it
rooted for
will.
them the most when Mick was around because obviously Mick, I wanted Mick to do really well. Um, but I'm glad because they had become the laughing stock at the back end of last season, and then Andretti came and Andretti wasn't allowed to come on the grid, and then they said, if Andretti can't come in, why do you even have a Haas which is really making up the numbers and not really moving in in a positive direction for quite some time. So I'm happy that
Yeah.
they've got their shit together.
I
A
hope they do
team,
well. I mean, they should at least come to the top 6 or 7. I mean,
I think seven will be a big result for them. Yeah, they'll really take a number seven, P7
yeah,
in the championship.
that's good. Yeah.
It'll be a big improvement.
Yeah.
Coming down to the last two, which have
I
both
think we
had
can
shocking
combine
seasons.
both. We can combine both.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No, but I think a special mention must be given to how bad Alpine have been. I think Kiksau were kind of just playing the fool almost. They came up with some completely ridiculous livery that was like a child who had, painted it. But Alpine are the big worry for me. I mean, they're just going in one dark alleyway, going further down. And if you see today's race, also, they were atrocious. And like we touched upon it, I think team morale is low, car performance is abysmal, driver
Yeah.
performance is you
I
can't
just
even
feel
gauge
bad.
driver performance
Yeah.
at this point.
I just
Unlike on Sauber's side, I think Bottas doing a decent job. Zhou has also been very bad.
yeah.
So I think where they kind of differs, I think the drivers are still doing the best that they can in
Yeah.
in Alpine, but actually, you could. There's no the only driver among the four who's doing atrociously bad is Joe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think he'll go by next year. I think he'll go by
I
next
think
year.
he should. Yeah, he should also move on. I think Bottas also should move on. I think Bottas is taking up a seat with no intent of really doing anything with it. He's just having a good time.
Bottas has become a celebrity, right?
He's a celebrity, correct? He's now a celeb driver rather than a driver first. He's
Yeah,
more of a
like a
celebrity.
restaurant driver.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's yeah. I really hope
I
Alpine
feel and
find
I
a way.
just feel very bad for Gasly. I mean, for some reason, there's great potential. He's a fantastic driver. Just a
Yeah,
bad,
he's a good.
yeah, just a
He's
bad
just
start.
not getting the luck of the draw with his cars,
Yeah,
and I think they. I mean, the problem with Alpine is they keep shooting themselves in the foot. I think
yeah,
they keep changing personnel. They have that. I don't know what that Bruno family. I don't know what his background is. I don't know. He's an engineer. Is he? What is he? But they are. I mean, they've started badly, and I think they're going to end also quite badly. I don't think they're going to go anywhere
yeah.
this. Let's just hope that they find some kind of silver bullet for next season. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this quick, not so quick podcast actually. Uh, Closing thoughts, Hari. What do you think? Looking forward to China, what's your hot take for China? What's going to happen? Are we going to be closer, as in Ferrari, going to be
It's
closer to Red Bull
it's
in
gonna
that
be a
track?
sprint race. It's gonna be a sprint race. So
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah. So that kind of
China,
puts.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's our first sprint race. I forgot that.
First sprint is in China. So I think it'll be fun. I mean, we're racing in China. I think after 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll be racing in China after 5 years.
Yeah, COVID happened in
So,
China
yeah.
2020.
So I
We
think
kind
the
of had a
last
sabbatical.
18 in China.
Maybe
18
18 or
or
19.
19, 18 or
Yeah,
19.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's see. I mean, let's see how we perform. It's also Joe's home race.
Yeah, I hope he
So
has a good one. Yeah,
yeah,
honestly,
it'll
hope.
be a
He's a
good
good
one.
guy. He's a good fellow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think he'll be.
uh, let's see how Ferrari also perform. I mean,
We should be closer. I don't think that track has such high speed corners. I
yeah,
think this will probably Japan was our most difficult track on paper. I think Silverstone
yeah,
also will be difficult for us.
yeah.
But let's see. Very positive about the season, like we touched upon at the beginning.
I'm looking forward for next month. I'm going to be in
Yeah,
Imola.
yeah, yeah, Imola. Yeah, we'll do a live post race from there while you're at Imola. It should be
So
fun.
I'll be
Yeah.
reporting live from Imola.
That
So
should
I'm
be fun.
looking forward to that. The seventh
Cool. Sounds
race.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
but
Thanks.
let's.
Thanks, Hari, for joining. Yeah.
I think too early to say, too early to predict, too
Hmm.
early to rationalize, and I think probably by the summer break, I think one should get a fair idea where each team stands also, and
Yeah.
what to
I
come
think
back.
that should
Or
really
unless,
set it. Yeah, set key what's going to happen post the
or
summer break.
unless
We'll
Red Bull
kind
change the drivers mid-season, which is also
of.
surprise. So yeah, I mean, let's look forward for it. I mean, we've got a long year to go ahead with multiple races. So
Too many
then,
races, man.
yeah,
24, I think, is too much. I think 20
yeah, it's
is
too long.
should be the limit. Anyways, thanks,
Yeah,
Hari, for joining. Thank you,
yeah.
everyone who joined us.
Looking
See you
forward
on
to
the
next
next one.
one.